What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Clackbox. I'm your host, Cody Clackler, and today we have a very, very special guest. But if you were listening on iTunes, I would love for you to leave a review. That helps us tremendously go up the charts. If you are listening to any other thing besides iTunes, go ahead and please subscribe on iTunes, because that would be helpful. But my very favorite guest so far is here with us. His very first time. If you could see his facial expression, you would understand how amazing he is. It is Tate Clackler. Give him a hand. And the whole room, or at least 2/3 of it, applaud for you, sir. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You're good?
Yep.
Is this your first time to ever be interviewed?
Yes.
Are you nervous?
A little.
A little. Me too. Because I have no idea what you're going to say.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to edit it.
Oh, that's even better. It's like live streaming.
It is like live streaming. Hashtag the struggle is real?
Yeah.
What would be the hashtag there?
I don't know.
You're the cool kid.
Who said I was a kid?
Ooh, well played. Where should we start?
Oh, gosh.
See, you're 11 years old. So what's it like being my son?
I don't know. Normal?
It's normal?
Depends on what normal is.
What is normal?
Exactly. I don't know.
Are we normal?
No.
No, you don't think we're normal?
I don't think there is a normal.
Oh.
The normal think they're abnormal, and the people who think they're abnormal think that there are other normal people.
You might have just made somebody wreck their car because their mind got blown. So you think it's normal being my son? Is it pretty normal?
Abnormal. Normal.
Abnormal?
Abnormal. Yeah.
Abnormal?
Can we get on dictionary.com real fast?
No.
Okay.
What makes it abnormal?
I don't know. I mean, all of our fathers and mothers are different, so they treat us differently. You know?
That's true. Do you think you're treated well as a kid?
I think I get more than I deserve.
You think you get more than you deserve?
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't know. Like I just get a lot of stuff, and I probably shouldn't. We probably all should.
It's true. We probably all shouldn't. Do you think we all get more than we deserve?
I mean, unless you're very noble and you go around helping old ladies 24 hours a day, no. I think, yes, I think we all get more than we deserve.
So if you say we get more than we deserve, does that mean you think that we're gracious parents?
Yes.
We're giving parents?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good. Do you think we're giving to you, or do you think we're giving to everybody, but especially you guys?
I think you're giving to everybody. I mean, what do you mean by that?
I don't really know what I mean by that. I guess what I mean is, do you think that we're just only giving to our kids, or do you think we're just giving people in general?
Oh, you're giving people in general, yeah.
Mm.
I don't think you're just giving to us.
That's good.
Us as in me and my sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask this question different? Okay, so
Sure.
There's a bunch of parents listening right now.
Probably.
Okay. So you as a kid, a preteen, as they call you, right? You did quotations. Good. What, as you being the kid, what would qualify as a good parent in your opinion that might help other people be good parents?
Well, a good parent to me would be somebody who criticizes their children a lot, but doesn't get, they don't, seriously ground them a lot. You know what I mean? Like, they don't, ground them for a month for getting their library book at school, but they tell them that they need to keep up with their stuff.
So do you think, you use the word criticize, do you mean kind of just keeps them accountable, kind of stays on them?
Yeah, makes sure that they're being responsible and
Respectful.
Respective.
Yeah, respectful.
Respectful.
You're good. You're good. You're there. So okay, but here's a parent struggle. Okay, a parent struggle is if I do that, if I keep accountable and keep structure and stay on you about stuff like that, I think the parent fear is that I push you away. So is there a balance there?
I think there can be if you're doing that, but then you do fun things with your children, like you wrestle around on the floor like we do sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just wrestle, and then it kind of bounces out, because we're just friends.
So you think for me to think about balancing how hard I have to be on you to build that structure, but then maybe
Just messing around.
but also invest in the fun things too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it can balance out.
Okay.
It might be different for other people, but for me,
So do you think we do a pretty good job at balancing that?
mm-hmm. We hang out most nights,
That's true.
like all four of us.
Yeah. Who do you think's harder on you, me or mommy?
That's classified.
It's it's classified. Like if I'm hard on you, do you ever feel like this is gonna last?
Sometimes when I'm mad, or if I get into trouble for something that was even my fault, or sometimes it's not my fault,
Yeah.
I still feel that way. But pretty quickly, I always remember it's not that way.
That's just the moment,
It's
in the
just
moment
It's
thing.
in the moment, yeah.
So do you think as an 11-year-old, you can think about there's moments, but then there's the overall relationship?
Yes.
You think about that?
Right.
So when you're in trouble, you're thinking about the moment, or you're getting punished, or
Mhm.
whatever. You're thinking about the moment, but then you said you quickly remember the whole relationship.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh wow, I never thought about that.
Like on a STAR test, they give you certain, like your class, the whole state, or just yourself,
Oh,
or
okay,
your school.
right.
It's just, it gives you more of an idea how smart you are in that case, or in this case, your relationship with your parents.
Okay, that's what you're saying. So so as a parent, do you think it's good advice to move on from that moment quickly, so you remind your kid about the relationship?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Okay. So, like when you were saying that in those moments,
Mm-hmm.
it feels a certain way, but then you remember the relationship and the bigger thing, right?
Right.
And so your emotions and your head live in the bigger moment, not necessarily the bigger relationship, not just the moment you get in trouble.
Right.
Okay.
When you get in trouble, I think
Yeah.
at the moment. Right.
Is there anything that I as a parent can do to help get you out of the moment when you're in the moment and remember the relationship? Do you think mommy and daddy do something that helps you do that?
Let me think about that. Most of the time, it's just when you don't do anything, you don't act any different. You just go back, you just bounce back, and you're normal again.
Really?
Yeah.
So you notice that.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that we try to, discipline or correct or whatever, and then
Just
move on and
bounce
don't let it linger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it sums it up.
That's cool. So you're in GT,
Yes.
gifted and talented. Do you feel? What do you think about? What does it mean to be gifted?
We're doing a book study in GT on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's actually, it's called the 101 Secrets of Being Gifted, and the first secret was it was a question before the whole thing. It was, what does it mean to be gifted? So yeah, that was ironic. But
Sorry,
what?
I didn't mean to be ironic.
Oh no, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
But
What does it mean to you?
well, sometimes people think better of you, or teachers think you should get better grades than some other people. But sometimes you don't get the best grade, and they're just really disappointed in you. But GT doesn't mean you get good grades.
Okay. What does it mean?
Your brain is hardwired differently,
Okay.
so you have a different way of thinking about things.
Hmm.
Like how most kids would compare things to video games or books or toys or something like that. We compare things to something we've learned academically or toys, but just at a different level, you know?
Okay. Do you think you learn? Do you think you just learn in different ways?
Yeah, and I think we're different. We're usually quicker at learning.
Okay.
We can be.
Because what I've noticed about you is the way that you retain information is ridiculous. Like you read and then retain information about what you read. It like really, really well. And mommy does that. Like you don't get that from me. I'm sorry. That's that's not from me at all. I just see Ellie pointing that she gets all of her stuff from me. So she doesn't retain information and that's my fault. So so you're in gifted and talented. You've always got good grades.
Yeah, I've only got one B in my life. I was 89.
Wow.
Kind of sad about that.
Are you?
It's
okay.
I
We'll
was.
we'll pretend.
Okay. Always.
Do you feel pressure?
On grades?
Yeah.
Not really, because I normally make good grades.
But this year we talked about like this is the first year it
Gets hard.
It turns from knowing to learning.
You have to start studying and pay attention, and yeah. Well,
So-
I always pay attention, but
Do you feel it's a little bit more of a grind?
yes.
Yeah.
And the workload like tripled in size. Like, you'd have like an assignment a week back in 4th grade from a teacher. Now we have like 6 a week. Like it's crazy.
Do you think it's important for parents to stay on top of their kids with their grades?
I think parents sometimes think more of their kids. Like they think their kids should be doing better, but they don't really know what they're experiencing. Because I'm learning 8th grade math right now.
Holy cow.
That's what my teacher said.
Okay.
We're like when she was a kid. What we're learning now was learned in 8th grade for them.
Really?
So I just think parents expect more from their kids than that they really have.
So they're having to deal with higher level things.
Yes.
Okay, so when you were in, I think it was 2nd grade.
Back in Idaho?
Grade. Yeah. You were talking about running for president.
What? Oh yeah.
And your platform was going to be
I think it was 3rd grade.
3rd grade. Okay. What was your platform?
What do you mean my platform?
Like your idea was like internet safety, right?
Oh yes, yeah. I thought it was really stupid that we have all that weird stuff online.
Okay. Like podcasts. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this website. No.
Okay. So can we talk about that for a second?
Sure.
Okay. So
Pay attention, kids.
yeah, right? So is that you have friends at school?
Friends, yeah.
Okay. Is internet safety a big deal?
We have Chromebooks, our own Chromebooks this year. Yeah, definitely.
So why do you think internet safety for a kid is a big deal?
Because if we see something, we can misinterpret something, and then we can have a whole philosophy that could be incorrect.
Philosophy of all kinds of things.
Yes.
And so when you say philosophy, you kind of mean mindset.
Or how you look at things.
Or how you look at things.
Right.
So you've been baptized.
How old was I?
5?
4 or 5, yeah.
I think no, you weren't 4. I think you were 5.
I think I was, okay.
Yeah.
So.
I'm looking at the picture actually on the shelf or the stand thing over there.
Yeah.
So then, so you feel. So what? How would you describe your relationship with God?
I don't know. What do you mean by that? Like, is it a strong relationship?
Yeah, or what's unique about it? Just you and God.
I think I have a strong relationship with God. I pray to Him most nights. I talk with Him.
And we talked about, we went through a couple of days in the car where we talked about how we think God views us or what God thinks about us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And do you remember what you said?
I swear I pray to him most nights. Is that what you mean?
But what you said, like, I remember we talked about one word,
Oh, I don't remember that.
and you thought God, what the one word God would use to describe you was interesting.
Oh, yeah. I'm interesting.
You're interesting. What makes you interesting?
I'm different from most kids. I read as much as I can, while other kids avoid it as much as possible.
Why do you read?
It's like experiencing an adventure story without experiencing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can experience as much as you want, as many as you want.
That's cool. So what do you think about God?
Sorry, Mike. What?
Oh, you're good. What do you think about God?
I think everything around us ends with the philosophy of him. I think he's like the big dude, you know?
The big dude?
I always think of him like in the creation. I always think of him like, you know, the scraggly white beard and the robes and the wooden staff.
Right?
But like when I think about now and like now we're modern and stuff, I think of him like with a businessman carrying a weird suitcase and the ship of Earth and stuff, you know?
Okay.
In a tight tuxedo waddling around, you know? He has the bald head. He's a little round, chubby.
Like a bald... Yeah, okay.
Like from Harry Potter, it's Mr. Dudley. You know, kind of like him.
You picture God that way?
Yeah.
I don't know if God would appreciate that.
Well, he's a businessman, you know?
He's a businessman?
Yeah, he gets on his typewriter. He's old-fashioned. And he types up. Yes, he has a keyboard with a bunch of, like, smite buttons, bless button, you know?
Okay, you don't really believe he has smite buttons. Okay.
Okay. He doesn't, but... Sorry, I wanted to say that.
I know you did. No, but seriously, you've been around church your whole life. Because I've done ministry your whole life.
Longer than my life.
Well, yeah, but your whole life. What do you think? What do you think about God? Do you think God's loving and kind? Do you think, what do you think?
I think parents are like God, and God's like parents. Criticizing, but loving and kind, you know? We are his children, after all.
That's true. Like, are we a good example of how you think God loves you? Our love for you?
I don't know what you mean by that, but I mean, like, I know you love me, and I know God loves me. So, I don't...
Do you think those loves are similar?
Yes, because you love me because I'm trying to put this into words, hold on. I've grown up and you've counseled me my whole life. And that's like nourishing a plant, and like there's a bond between you and the plant.
Okay, yeah.
Except it's a little more personal and a lot deeper.
Okay.
With me, because I'm an actual human being. You and me and your mom and mom alike.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how do you think someone who doesn't have loving parents, say a kid that's 11, how do you think they view God when they don't have loving parents? Do you think it's harder to view God?
I think it's a lot harder to view God.
Why do you think it's harder?
Because he hasn't experienced much love in his life if he doesn't have very loving parents. So,
who's your small group leader at church? I mean, I know who it is, but I'm asking you who it is.
Second service or third service?
Third service.
Zach.
Zach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Zach's a cool guy.
Yeah.
You like Zach?
Mm-hmm.
You respect Zach?
I respect him, yeah.
Okay. How important is Zach to you?
He's pretty important to me. Like, if he were to get hurt or something, I'd feel really bad for him.
So if you could tell parents something that every kid wants to tell a parent, what would it be?
What a kid wants to tell a parent?
Yeah, give them good advice right now. They're listening.
Okay.
Help every kid in the world right now.
In the world?
Yeah.
This probably wouldn't be wise, but whatever kid probably wants, probably including me, let us do what we want.
Okay, that's not real advice.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Okay, real advice. Real advice from you. Come on.
Real advice?
Yeah, real advice. What's the most important thing from a parent to a kid? In your opinion?
You are one of the most important people.
I know Ellie's singing in the background. Ellie, stop singing.
Anyway, you parents are one of the most important people you're one of the most important people in your kid's life.
Mm-hmm.
Or you too, or guys.
Right.
And girls. You are the most, you're the most important people in your kid's life. And if you're not there for them, that makes them weaker in ways. If you're not there for them, they don't feel as important or as strong mentally. You know?
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel as important or as interesting as they would if you're really there for them.
And that's the other word you used when we talked about God. You said important. Because you said you believe God has plans for you and that you're important.
Important, yes.
You still believe that?
I bet I'll do good things in my life. I bet we all can if we look deep enough.
So you believe that God thinks you're important. So that's into the serious questions.
Right? End the serious questions?
That's the end of the serious questions right there.
Do we get the sibling questions now?
So, so if someone asks a question online, do you think you could maybe come back on and answer them?
Yeah,
okay,
I could come back.
Okay, so if you guys have questions for Tate, which I'm sure there will be questions for you, bud, then you're saying you'll come back on and answer them.
I'll answer
what you can.
What I know the answer to. Like Sweet. If you ask me what 2 times. Oh, that's actually a really bad example. I don't know. Just yeah.
Okay, so here's the most important question of all time. What is it like being a sibling to she who must not be named?
Wow. Are you Harry Pottering me?
Yes, I'm Harry Pottering you.
She who must not be named. Ellie Mort.
Yes, Ellie Mort. Now, what is it like to be the older sibling to Ellie?
I feel like I take the higher responsibility in things, and I sometimes, not much anymore. I used to get in trouble for things that were blamed on me by my sister. Not anymore, but a while ago. When she was little and pointed her finger a lot. And it's hard being the older sibling because you know more and you think differently than your younger sibling. But your younger sibling really looks up to you. And you have to acknowledge them even though you don't think it's funny or you don't like it as much as they do.
So what you're saying is you feel a responsibility to make her feel important?
Yes.
There's a lot of pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my only worrisome part about having children when I get older.
Oh, what's your worrisome part?
What?
What is it? What's your worrisome part? Making them feel important?
Yeah. Just when I get older because I already know a lot of things and I don't know if I can do a successful job of that when I get older. So this is practice.
This is Ellie is practice?
Yeah.
That's really wise of you to think about that way.
I was actually just thinking about that in the car ride here.
Really?
Like for after school. I was just thinking about that.
Because she talks a lot after school, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's been waiting. She has an energy bar and she's saving it all up.
And then it just comes unloaded when we get in the car, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you're tired at that point.
And I'm exhausted. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, sir, young man, for being on here with me. And thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Clack Box. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time. Tate had a
good time
laughing. Good. Y'all have a great week whenever you're listening to this. And thanks again. Peace out.